afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Kevin MacDonald,
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, we have Tim Trauig and his daughter, Jennifer Herring, of Guardians. And what is Guardians? And welcome to both of you.
Well, it's good to see you again, Barbara.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
You
It's
too.
good to be here. Guardians is a local nonprofit. We've been out here since 2021, but we were a small group back in 2015. So we've been around for 10 years, but 5 years as a nonprofit. And we provide support, camaraderie, and connection for our veterans, military, law enforcement, and firefighters, men and women who are active, retired, or in reserves. And we do weekly peer-to-peer groups. We have three types of people that come to those groups. Some come for support. Some come to support others and get support if they need it. And then others just come for the banter, camaraderie, relationships, connection. We have a great time. You know, the Marines teasing the Army guys, and you know how that goes, the back and forth.
Oh,
that
I
goes
can
amongst
imagine.
So, and it's what we're all used to. It's comfortable, and it makes everybody just kind of feel at home. And it opens up the doors for an opportunity to really see some great healing happen in many of these men and women's lives who have been, in some cases, really devastated by their experiences in the military.
And they help each other.
They do.
What you're saying.
And that's the
Yes.
magic of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's why it works so well. It's because it's that peer-to-peer support. And so we encourage them to share and talk. There's some of these men and women who have been on the edge of taking their own lives, who struggle with drug addiction and alcoholism, have been through multiple divorces in their relationships. And some of that I consider a lot of that I think is directly related to these emotions, feelings, and trauma that they have experienced in many cases
yeah.
that they've shoved into a box.
Yeah.
And it
when
comes
when
out
it's
in bad
happened,
ways.
when they've been in fighting.
Yes.
And
it's a
I can
skill that
understand
I'm retired LA City Fire. I spent 35 years with LA City, and it's a great skill that we develop. You have to, or you'll go crazy. So we developed the skill of taking our normal emotions and feelings and putting them in a box, so we can be really good at what we do. The down part of that is those feelings and emotions that are stuck in that box start to want to find their way out. And we try to push them and keep them there. And so to do that, to disassociate from those things, we start drinking, using, we become detached from our relationships, our families. We can't connect at an emotional level because we don't like emotions. We don't like feelings. We're used to putting them in the box, not expressing them or being able to connect at an intimate level with those that we love in our relationships to the level that would be really, wonderful. And so we talk about the landmines of things we've seen and experienced affect our lives because we all have a carousel of slides we can't unsee.
Yeah.
And so it's always with you. So we do weekly groups for that. We do service projects in the community. We do family nights the first Monday of every month. We bring all the families together because it's more than just healing the individual. It's about trying to heal the whole family.
Now, speaking of families, you have your daughter here.
I do.
Yeah,
My
Jennifer.
wonderful daughter, Jennifer.
And my amazing dad, Tim. I will say that.
And she is the most supportive person to our organization, and that's one of the reasons why I asked her to be here with me today was
Okay.
she is going to be our title sponsor this year for one of our big events.
Tell us about that. What does that mean?
Absolutely. Well, Guardian's mission just aligns completely with my heart and my family's legacy. As my dad mentioned, he is retired LA City Fire Captain, and then his dad is a Korean War veteran, my grandfather. He's retired LAPD and a Purple Heart recipient. And so there is a just generation of people that are in service. And so watching my dad start Guardians and really to support this incredible group of individuals where there's a brotherhood, sisterhood of people that are willing to serve and do something beyond just themselves to support one another. It's really powerful, and it's been neat as a daughter. Growing up with the fire family, we grew up going to the fire station.
Right.
And,
Oh, yes.
watching this firsthand. And so I feel right at home, and it has been nothing but a blessing to be able to watch not only my dad, but all of Guardians. It is such a group effort with these incredible individuals, and what they do on day in, day out with risking their life, helping people, supporting one another, whether they're retired or active military, even firemen, women, LAPD, and they're still serving or not. They're there for a lot.
Well, one of my favorite shows is Fire Country
There you go.
on TV. I love that show. I love it.
You know what's impressed me about Jennifer is she's not a veteran military, law enforcement, or firefighter, but she serves that population of people. And she has the heart that runs through our family, and that's a passion to serve other people.
Yeah.
And I see her do that through her business, which has really touched me as a dad. Because you don't know how they're going to develop and what kind of character they're going to have. Are they out there for the money? Or are they out there to really make a difference in people's lives? And I think she's taken a lot of that to heart, and it's blessed me to watch how she operates. And
Now,
doing
what
she
kind of
does.
business do you have?
So I'm in the real estate business.
Aha.
So I work at HomeSmart Evergreen right here in Valencia. And so I serve most of the Santa Clarita Valley and surrounding areas. I've lived here since '86. So I went to elementary school all the way up to high school and then even to College of the Canyons. So, and I'm never moving. I love it here and I'm staying here
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
And my
That's
parents
a
are
hometown person.
Yes.
I've been here since 1968 myself.
So you understand.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, it's great that your business side to give back, because I know it's in your family, but again, you offer opportunity for other people to support what your group, what Guardians is doing.
Yes.
And how are you doing that with the sponsorship? Why don't you tell us about the event a little bit and how
Sure.
sponsors play a role?
Well, we have our biggest event of the year is coming up September 6th. It's a Saturday. It's our Patriot Day car show and free breakfast for 9/11. It's our 9/11 event, and it's an opportunity for us to bring our community together to remember and reflect on that horrific day. It affected so many people, not only just our civilians in our country, but mainly also our fire, police, and military men and women. Many perished on that day, and many after 9/11, many of our young men and women went into the military because of that day. And so there's been a lot of deaths on that day, and there has been a lot of deaths since that day that really all we're all tied into that one event on that 9/11 day. So we created a day of with a wonderful ceremony of remembrance and reflection. Speakers, we do the national anthem, we have bagpipes, we do some really touching ceremonial things so that we as a community can do what we all promised to do, and that was we would never forget. We said that. We would never forget.
Yes.
And so this is a way for us to remind Santa Clarita and surrounding areas that, hey, we're not going to forget, and you can come here and be a part. And why sponsorships is so important is one, I think it's a great opportunity for our local businesses to jump in and show their support for this community. And so many of them have been so supportive. We have what's really cool this year, not only with Jenny as a title sponsor, we have another title sponsor this year, which is the United States Marine Corps.
Oh,
and so they
wonderful.
reached out to us, which was really cool.
That's
and are going to be
wonderful.
there. They'll probably speak along with Jennifer and some others to share about what they do and what that day means to them. And so we'll have a car show with that as well, which is going to be great. We'd love to have anybody that has a cool car, or ugly car, whatever car they want to bring, come out to our car show. They can register online at our website at guardiansscv.org. Go to our 9/11 event page, and everything's there for sponsorships if they want to sponsor. We have all different levels. If they want to register for our car show, they can register there. I encourage all of our car enthusiasts and those that have cars or part of car clubs to come out, but to register online. If you register online, then you're guaranteed a spot there. Not only do you get a spot, you have an opportunity to get one of our custom trophies that we have made specifically for that event, and you get 2 opportunity drawing tickets free because you registered your car with our event. It's $20 for the vehicle registration, $25 at the door. But it is going to be a wonderful day. We have a kids area this year so it's for the whole family. And there's going to be fire vehicles, law enforcement vehicles, military vehicles, and all these cool vehicles and cars that will be a part of that day. We have Trevor Larkin, who's a local out here, that's bringing his full-on dragster out again this year.
Oh, yes.
So it's really going to be a great day. Several of our car dealerships are sponsors this year as well. They'll have some of their vehicles there also. We'll be taking some family pictures, right, Jenny?
Yes, we are.
How's that going to happen?
So I actually have a bear cat at my booth, and
Well, explain what that
so
is.
it's a tactical apparatus that the sheriff's department uses, and so it's very impressive, and we get to have it at our booth to be able to take photos with the whole family. My husband is an incredible photographer, and if I can just plug him for a second, he goes out with all LAPD, LASD, all different SWAT teams, different agencies, firefighters, and what he does is does all their photos to give back to them as a way to say thank you and document what these people do. So it's really a family involvement across the
Right,
board,
right.
and so he will be there as my photographer. So I have put him to work, and he'll be taking photos of all the families that are there. And we've
Is he
got
bringing
some-
a smoke machine out
Yes,
this year?
yes, he
Okay.
is.
Yeah, I
so-
wanted to ask you, are you going to let the kids climb onto the fire trucks?
They will be able to touch and get in some of these vehicles, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how many fire trucks we'll have this year. The gentleman that provided the fire trucks for us in the past was a guardian, and he passed away of cancer last year.
Oh.
And so our access to some of those has been a little hard. We have some really cool fire apparatus, but one of them's from China. These really unique and different looking vehicles. So they're going to see a lot of unique.
China.
Yes,
Whoa.
it is a crazy looking little machine. So there's a day of really seeing some really cool stuff.
But you are real. I mean, you're really bringing the community together for this with so many facets. With the car show part, of it, with
Yes.
with the ceremony itself. I saw your list of speakers and singers and
Yes.
and sponsors, and it's really impressive.
We really want this to be Santa Clarita's event, and it's really turned out to be that. This is our fifth year, and our partnership with KHTS has been a huge part of that. From the very beginning, KHTS
Oh, yeah.
has been with us.
I know.
And the city has come out. We've had speakers from the city. We've had one of the big things this year is the Condor Squadron is going to do a flyover again this
wow,
year.
I love that.
So,
I
and
love
that's
that.
amazing. So they're flying over for us that morning. So, hey, you guys come out. If you want to see some amazing World War II aircraft, AT-6 planes fly over, and they may fly over several times, come and see them. It's going to be that morning, so get there early. And we hope weather and everything holds out, because we had one year where the weather and they couldn't get out of Van Nuys Airport. But this year, I'm sure they're going to get there this year, and we're looking forward. We partner with them on several things. We've built up a pretty good relationship with those guys that fly those, and we support one another in really great ways.
Oh,
And
that's
tell us where we're
wonderful.
gathering, because I know it's on the old road. But where on the old road?
We're going to be at 28776, the old road in Valencia, which is in the Higher Vision Church parking lot. Also, LA Police Gear is in there. It's where the new Harley Davidson building is now. And so it's right near the CHP station off the old road in Valencia. And it's really going to be a great day for everybody to be there.
So, is there a registration for this? How is people want to bring out their families to support you? How do we do that?
For families, you just show up, get there. It starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. Breakfast is served from 8 until 10 a.m. So get there at 8 and start having breakfast. The ceremony will start at 8:30. Don't miss that. And that'll go till about 9 or a little after 9. And then not too long after that, we expect our Condors to fly over. And then they have access to all these this amazing breakfast, and then all these amazing cars that will be out in the lot to walk up and down and take a look at, along with the kids area. Where I think we're going to have balloons and face painting. There's a company called HV Racetrack, which is actually owned by an LAPD family. They'll be coming out, and they set up this awesome racetrack, believe it or not, for Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. And they run a full-on race where kids, young people, and adults can bring your own cars if you have some. I have some. And you can race them against each other. They give out trophies and prizes for first, second, and third places. And at first I thought it was just for the kids, and I happened to see it at an event, and it was, I think, the adults got more out of it than the
Probably
kids.
did.
Because many of us were reminiscing from the back in the day when we had our own Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. But they do an amazing job with that. It's really impressive. So that'll be available out there. And there's just going to be so many great things. The opportunity drawing, too, this year, we've got some great, will be kind of raffled off for that opportunity drawing. And they'll be selling those tickets there. But it's free for everybody. The breakfast is free. Donations are accepted if they want to donate. And then the car show, the cars that come in and register are, $20 online, $25 at the door. But we really would love them to register online because that makes it easier for us to
register online for the car show.
Yep. And they can reach us also by phone at 661-347-6307 or any of our social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram at Guardians SCV and get a hold of us. And they'll be able to see a lot of the pictures that will be taken that day. And it's really going to be a wonderful...
GuardiansSCV.org.
That's correct. Guardians with an S and then SCV.org.
Okay.
I was on the website this morning. It's a great website, easy to use. I found out all the information I needed. So I don't know who's developing your website, but anyway, it really got to the point. All right.
And I'm not a website developer, so that was
That's
my
pretty
first
good.
attempt.
With you.
Thank you for saying that. That makes me feel really
And
good.
what is the date again?
That'll be September 6th, Saturday, September 6th, from 8 until noon in the Higher Vision Church parking lot off the old road at 28776 the old road. And so the money that's raised there all goes towards supporting Guardians, our nonprofit organization, and allows us to do our service projects we do in the community. We've done a lot of service projects at our local VFW post 6885 out here in Santa Clarita. We also have another Guardians group that we started a year ago out in the San Fernando Valley in Granada Hills at VFW post 2323. We've done some service projects out there. And then it also provides opportunity for us to support some more veterans, law enforcement, firefighters that are in need for whatever reason. So the money goes to a great cause. 100% of what's donated goes to support these brave men and women who have sacrificed so much for our country, for our communities. They're out there every day risking their lives. And not only are they making that sacrifice, and Jenny gets this because she was a child of a firefighter, that the family sacrifice a lot too. I'm not there for every birthday. I'm not there for every Christmas or Thanksgiving, even though sometimes we were able to get them down to the fire station depending on where we were working and if it was safe enough for them to go. But you sacrifice a lot, all of us do, and then you don't get all of me.
That's true. And on holiday seasons, that's where a lot of fires occur.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's people get lazy or just not focused and leave a stove running with something on it and it starts a fire, Those kinds of things happen a lot during holiday seasons.
Yes, Christmas tree fires we get almost every Christmas. And
Can I go back to the event for a minute? Because I know you're talking about the event, and it sounds exciting. I would go on that, and I can make a donation, or families can make donations while we're there.
yes, while you're there or online.
But I think the hidden agenda of the event is this: is it not? Is just bringing the community aware of what Guardians is and how we support each other and how we can support Guardians to help others.
I would say that is one of the main agendas of that day, and I would say that goes right along with that. Not only are we there to tell you about Guardians and how we can support our community and this population of people, but it's also about for us as a country, as a community, to remember 9/11. Mm-hmm. I think we forget. We just go along in our daily lives and we start to get comfortable with every day is here and it's good and we smile. Occasionally we do this, but while we're doing that, there's been a lot of people that have either lost their lives or are living with the results of their service that has so highly impacted their lives to the point they don't really live life in some cases to the fullest. They don't thrive in life like many of us do. They strive in life. They're trying to get through the next day in some cases, to the next month, to the next year. They're struggling with their family relationships, things like that.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. And you brought a lot of education to us this morning. Website again?
Is guardiansscv.org, and our social media at at Guardians SCV.
All right, and we'll be there on September 6th, Saturday.
We'd love to see you.
can't wait
Please
to see
come
you
out in the
guys.
community.
8
Come say
o'clock.
hi to Jenny
Yes.
and Jason. Oh, and her pug.
Oh,
Remy.
yes, Remy,
right.
he will be there.
All right, well,
My pug, my baby.
Oh, your dog.
we
my
need
dog.
to take a break now. So I'm Kevin MacDonald with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Kevin MacDonald.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy. And I love that organization. It's doing wonders
Barbara,
for me.
why do you love the organization?
Oh, it's doing wonders for me because I go there.
Because you go there. Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
I have treatment there.
That's right.
And it's helping.
That's what we want. That's why we're doing this.
Yes. And but
So we're
you
gonna
wanted
forget all HIPAA rules and just go right to it.
yes.
Well, HIPAA rules, if she consents, then
Yes,
it's
that's
just
what I'm-
absolutely fine. I just can't talk about
Right.
it unless she's okay with it.
Pointing it out.
absolutely.
Barbara can talk about whatever she wants.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
the most interesting part about it is the newbie.
Yep. That's definitely
When-
our kind of our bread and butter, if you will.
Yes,
That's
where
what separates us.
you put your feet in containers of water,
Yep.
and you
Okay.
have these. I don't know what they're called.
Electrodes.
Electrodes.
Yep.
But you can turn them low or high, and they I don't know what they do to the feet, but they vibrate. What do they do?
Yeah, well, so we're sending direct current stimulation because we have a ground pad usually on your back,
Yes,
right?
on my back.
And so then we have a leather electrode that completes the circuit that's in the bucket of water, and we call it a foot bath. And basically we're using direct current stimulation, which is how your nervous system works. So peripheral neuropathy, which is what we're working with, and a big problem for a lot of our seniors is peripheral neuropathy because it's a side effect of medications, diabetes, like all these different problems.
I'm sorry, what does that feel? You gave me a big term I don't understand. but
Absolutely.
What does it feel like?
Yeah. So peripheral neuropathy is the medical term for when you get these symptoms. Generally, peripheral just means outside of your spinal cord. So usually people have it in their hands and their feet. And it can be a whole host of different symptoms. It can be numbness and tingling.
Numbness and tingling.
Yeah, it can be burning. It can be, it can be just kind of achy, shooting pain. Like it could be a lot of different symptoms, but they kind of group those together in peripheral neuropathy. Neuropathy basically just means like, inflammation of the nervous system that is just not cooperating and doing what it's supposed
Right.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah, mine was supposedly as a result of chemotherapy.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's one of the side effects.
That's
effects,
and a
okay.
very common side effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's in my feet. I don't have
Yep.
it anywhere else
Yep.
but my
Just
feet.
your feet. Okay.
And I'm fine during the day
Yeah.
because I'm up and walking around, and busy. And if it does bother me, it's not here.
Not as
you
bad.
know.
Yeah.
It's not there, but it's at nighttime that it bothers me.
Yep.
It's tingling and pins and needles and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
then if I get out of bed, then I put my feet down, and it's very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm being treated for at Focus Physical Therapy. And one of the best things is they call it the newbie.
Absolutely, yeah. So the newbie, which is really cool, we just had a study that was published, and I'm trying to remember the journal that it was published in, but it actually, so what they did is they did screening for these subjects. There was 150 subjects, and they had to meet certain criteria for the peripheral neuropathy because we wanted to rule out that it wasn't something different. We wanted to really focus on peripheral neuropathy because there isn't really the best treatments for it. I mean, there's medications that they use, and they kind of take the edge off. but they don't- Gabapentin, Lyrica, Neurontin, those are probably the big three. But they take the edge off. They don't really get rid of the symptoms. They don't fix the problem. But it's kind of one of those diagnoses. If you get it, it's frustrating because there's not a lot that they can do for it. So Newbie decided to do this study with a clinic in Florida where they had 150 subjects, and they did the foot bath. So literally that's all they did was the foot bath for 12 weeks, 12 sessions, 2 to 3 times a week, I believe it was, and they did the foot bath. And then they also had a control group where they used just like a TENS unit. So the big difference between all of the electricity treatments that physical therapists typically use is all of those are alternating current. So the current goes back and forth. So if you've had like TENS unit or what's called interferential is a real common one that they use, Russian, biphasic, all these different stimulations, all of those are alternating current. And that's what makes the newbie so different is it's direct current. So it's one direction of flow, which is how our nervous system works. So with the study, they wanted to be able to also have people that were getting electrical stimulation, but it was different than the newbie. And so they did that for 12 sessions, and they showed significant improvements in both nerve conduction velocity, which is the kind of the gold standard test we do that tells us how fast a nerve is conducting. And when you have numbness and tingling, usually that nerve is not conducting as fast, which is the signal's not getting there, and that's why you're having some of those symptoms. And then the other thing that they were able to demonstrate is what's called axonal regeneration, which basically means the nerve was actually regrowing and healing. So we know, like, distinctly that it was doing what it was saying it's doing, and the symptoms of the 150 patients were significantly improved in just the 12 sessions. So that was really, really cool and a big win for newbie and for people who are struggling with peripheral neuropathy.
Okay, now you had a specific subject you wanted to talk about today.
Well, I was gonna talk a little bit about sleep, and that kind of piggybacks.
Does your tingling wake you up, Barbara?
Yes,
Okay, so your sleep is interrupted.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And so it kind of piggybacks a little bit with what we just were talking about is that how important sleep is for your recovery. And so, to break down kind of sleep, it's kind of two different parts, if you will. Your first half of your sleep cycle is called your slow wave sleep or your deep sleep. And I was just reading an article a couple weeks ago, which I found very interesting in that when you get into that deep sleep, your body releases human growth hormone, and that's what heals all your tissues from your different injuries or traumas, or even just your utilization of your muscles and everything throughout the day. And then the second half of your sleep cycle is the rapid eye movement, which is your REM sleep, and that's when your body is basically kind of cataloging all your memories and kind of clearing out all the stuff from what your brain was doing the day to get you to wake up hopefully recovered and ready to meet the challenge of your next day with good cognition and good clarity. But the study that I was reading was really interesting because I'd never thought about this. They talked about that with the first part of your sleep cycle, the slow wave sleep, their theory is that their body actually secretes all of the human growth hormone all at one time when you first go into sleep in that deep sleep. And that's huge because if that's the case, that means if you go to bed late, maybe you eat a late meal, maybe you have a glass of wine or a cocktail or something like that, and that part of your sleep cycle gets disrupted, the theory is then your body's not releasing that human growth hormone, and then you're not getting into that recovery state, which is crucial.
Well, it's interesting because if you drink wine late,
Yes,
that keeps you up.
it does. Yeah, because your body's got to process.
Oh my goodness, I don't.
For some
drink-
people, it knocks you out, Barbara.
well, well, I have a glass of wine for dinner.
Yeah.
But I usually eat dinner between 5 and 6.
Yeah. So, and then what time do you go to bed?
And I used to go to bed at 10.
So you've had 4 or 5 hours for your
Yeah.
body to process that.
Yeah.
And so you're probably okay and not having too much of an effect. That is a whole nother subject because I've read some stuff that alcohol, just one drink, is actually in your system for 5 to 6 days, which I'm not sure if I'm in complete agreement with
What kind of
that.
alcohol would that be?
Any of them, like wine, a cocktail mixed drink, any of those.
Well, I drink a glass of Chardonnay.
There you go. It's interesting, we've talked too, I wear that Whoop band that's on my arm and
Yeah.
it tracks all that stuff, and I've done experiments with myself where if I have a glass of wine, like you say, a lot of times I like to do it when I'm making the meal. So, during the food prep and stuff like that, and then, I may have another glass at dinner. If I stop and then there's that 3 to 4 hours of break before that, and when I go to bed, I don't see too much of an effect in my recovery scores the next day. But if I have another glass, a second glass after dinner and closer to bedtime, I definitely see the effects of that. So it definitely body's ability to recovery.
Yeah, if I have a late glass, I can't go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Because
interesting.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
My body go, go, go. You know?
And this is, it's so different for everybody. I think everyone has
Absolutely.
a story about their sleep.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. I can get to sleep really fast. I
Yeah.
go to sleep within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Other people, they're up for an hour trying to wind down.
Yeah.
So I think it's trying to figure out the person and what they're going through. And I think that what you talk about the second half is when
Yeah.
your administrative functions kick in.
Right.
And your to-do list or what I didn't finish is the
Exactly.
second half,
Yeah.
which you're almost partially awake for in a
sure.
weird way.
Absolutely. And from a physical therapy standpoint, I talk to all my patients about how important it is that they are getting that adequate sleep, because if they get up too early, your brain doesn't know, oh, I'm getting up at 5 instead of 7.
Mm-hmm.
So now you just cut your rapid eye movement, the brain part of the recovery, 2 hours short. So you didn't recover. And for somebody who's recovering from a fall or a surgery, some type of illness, if they're not getting good sleep, they're not healing. And that's sometimes why these things can just kind of linger around, because you're not getting that sleep and that recovery.
What about when you go to sleep and you wake up 3 hours later, can't get back to sleep?
So it could be a couple of reasons, but one of the things with alcohol, they say that if you wake up between 2 and 3 in the morning, that's because when your liver is getting active to try and process the alcohol. And I have noticed that myself. This may be too much information, but like if I have like an old fashioned or something like that with more of like a bourbon or a whiskey, I will wake up at 3 a.m. and my, even if it's just 1 or 2, my heart is pounding. And I never knew that was why. But I was actually, I think, listening to a podcast about that. And they said if you wake up between 2 and 3 in the morning after having a drink, it's because your liver is active trying to process that, which is crazy, because that's probably 6 hours before is when I had that beverage. And so, you think, oh, it takes about an hour to process, they say, one drink. And yet, 6-7 hours later,
Right.
I'm getting woken up.
Well, isn't liquor a lot stronger than wine?
The proof is definitely, but they still kind of quantify it as kind of one drink. So, 4
Yeah, 'cause
ounces or 3 ounces
never
equal to.
liked. I drank bourbon once when I was a senior in high school, and I had too much.
Yeah,
This is the senior hour.
one and done.
Oh, and I tell you, I was so sick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And I have never ever had it since that time.
Yeah.
I won't touch it because I don't want to go through what I went through then, and that was very vivid.
Glad you learned your lesson,
Right, huh?
Barbara.
And your body processes spirits differently than beer and wine.
Yeah, because they're different proofs.
But it's
and-
relative,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, the motto of the show is drink less and sleep more.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And that's where we need to
There you
go.
go.
So
Well,
what are
that's-
some solutions? I mean, because people struggle with going to sleep,
Yeah.
waking up early. They wake up between the 3 and 4 o'clock. So
Yeah.
is there any kind of instructions we should all try to jump on?
Well, definitely, what we teach is called sleep hygiene. So, you want to have, try and have a cooler temperature in the room if it's hot. And it's interesting, they say the ideal temperature is like 65 degrees to sleep in, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
But, I definitely know, like, I sleep better during the winter than I do during the summer because our room is a little bit warmer. So that, definitely, having, like, blackout curtains. You don't want any light because even though you've got your eyes closed, your body is still aware of those lights in the room. So you definitely want to do that. They say, really making sure that you're not on your phones, computers, anything that has blue light for at least 2 hours. They say it's basically the equivalent of drinking 2 cups of coffee. So, which is really hard in this
Really?
day of age because
That's
what do we do? We're
interesting.
on our phone. We're on our, stuff. So they do make what's called blue blocking glasses that you can get for inexpensive, anywhere, Amazon,
Blue
whatever.
blocking glasses.
Yeah, and it blocks the blue light because blue light's only happening at like noon, when the sun is at a certain height. And so if we're getting that blue light stimulation right before we go to bed, it's like our body thinks it's noon, not 8, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
That's interesting. Well, I read at night,
Uh-huh.
and that's what makes me sleepy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm holding the book up like this, and occasionally it'll fall on me and
Yeah.
scare the daylight out of me. But that makes me sleepy.
Yeah, absolutely.
reading.
Yep, and that's definitely, I think, a good technique, especially if you're reading like an actual book versus
Yes,
reading on
I'm
like an
reading a
iPad
book.
or something like that. Yeah.
No, I don't have an iPad.
Yeah, they say
All I have
dimming
is
the
that.
lights, for a few hours before you go to bed definitely helps because again, you're getting more of that kind of amber light, so you're not getting that stimulation that you would be getting from the blue light. There's a lot of different things, Trying to go to the bed and wake up within an hour of the same time frame every night is really good. They call it their sleep consistency. That's important. And then just trying to sleep in kind of that same environment, so that the environment's similar to you. They say you really shouldn't watch TV in bed.
No.
All those things are stimulating, and you want to be
Yeah, I
calming
can
the
see
nervous
why they
center
would
down.
be stimulating.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've got that light
a
on.
big struggle for a lot of people. And focus physical therapy, you're covering the whole person. We're
We
talking about
are,
sleep
yeah.
right now, and not physical therapy, but in a way, you're trying to solve the whole
It's
person.
definitely part of the physical therapy process and the healing. If I can do all these cool things with the newbie and do different things, with manual techniques and exercise and stuff, but if you're not getting the sleep, you're not recovering.
We're
So-
unraveling what you're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely, or at least slow it down for sure.
Right.
Because we do all the work during the day when you're at your appointment, but then you got to do the sleep to get the recovery. So that's super, super important.
Well, there's only one morning that I have to wake up at 8 o'clock.
That's
And that's when I come to the senior center. I have to be there by 10. And those 2 hours, I'm like, go, 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 go.
Right. But like
But
you said, everybody,
otherwise-
that's 1 day a week for you. For the rest of
Yes.
us, it's 5 days a week. So it's always a challenge, I think,
Well,
depending on
it
what you
used
do.
to be.
Yes.
Used to be mine
Yeah.
until I retired.
Right. How can we get a hold of you?
So we are located at 25050 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205, and phone number is 661-255-4205, and our website is www.focusptscv.com.
Wow, some fun discussion. Well, we need to take a break now. I'm Kevin MacDonald with my co-host, Barbara Cochran, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host Kevin MacDonald on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now is Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy. And let's continue with this very interesting conversation.
Absolutely. So we were talking about sleep, and one of the cool things that we can do in the clinic is with the newbie is we can actually stimulate your nervous system to get you into a better state for recovery, a better state for sleep. And it's been a lot of fun over the years with different patients. I remember I had one soccer mom that had come in, and she came in for this one problem, and so I decided I wanted to do what's called the master reset, which is this technique we do with the newbie where we stick 2 pads on your neck and 2 pads on your feet, and then we stimulate what's called the vagus nerve that stimulates that parasympathetic to help you sleep better. And she jokingly said to me, she's like, I'm a soccer mom. I haven't slept for more than 4 hours in like 8 years, or whatever. And I said, well, just bear with me. Let's try this. I think we need to kind of get your system into a state for recovery. And so I did the master reset with her. And she came back the next time. She's like, you're not going to believe this. She's like, I slept 8 hours straight. I haven't done that in years. And she's like, I feel so much better. And so it was really cool to see, just stimulating that nervous system to get you into the state. Because, for patients that are in physical therapy, a lot of times they're in pain. So your system is staying in that sympathetic, that fight or flight, because you're in pain. And so if you're not getting into that parasympathetic, which is what the reset does, then you're not getting into that state to really get that good sound sleep and recover. So it's been really cool. We've had so many requests for the master reset that now we're actually offering it as an a la carte service, so that people can come in, don't have to have a physical therapy prescription if they want to just try the reset and see how they do. And so we actually set you up for 30 minutes in a room, and you just get to relax on the master reset.
I've got to ask you, Barbara, because you're like the poster child here for this. Yes. They're putting electricity through your body. Does it hurt?
No.
Really?
Well, you can get different levels, and they turn it up to where I can withstand the level that they're giving me.
Yeah. So we kind of cue you for the intensity. So the newbie goes from 0% to 100%. And 100% for one person is totally different for somebody else. So we just tell you to take it to a point that's comfortable. And then what happens is often, depending on the type of treatment we're doing, is that if we're working through where we've mapped and figured out where the problem is, a lot of times the intensity starts to drop as you start to do the movements or the exercises. The machine's not changing. That's your nervous system actually starting to calm down, and that's why the intensity drops.
How much voltage is that?
Well, it's the whole. We do it in hertz, so we're depending on what. Again, there's a lot of variability. We have a lot of different parameters we use. Generally, we're treating at 500 hertz. I'd have to look it up. I don't know what the voltage is, to be honest with you. It's on direct currents running off of DC.
Yeah, you're not plugging it in the wall or anything. It's like,
No. You can. I mean, it has a converter to go to alternating current, which is what comes out of the wall, but it runs off of a battery in the clinic.
and when are you going to go, Kevin?
I need to go soon. Sounds like I'm into the master reset for the soccer mom. Sounds
Yeah,
like
it's pretty
a real
cool.
need for a lot of people that they can.
And what's really cool is I've had patients where they came in for, say, one problem, say a back problem, and then I did a master reset with them, and they come back the next time, and they're like, well, my back problem's still about the same or maybe a little bit better. She says, but this other problem I didn't tell you is gone. I've had a couple people with trigger finger, gone. And I was able to follow up with one of them like 5 years later. It was still gone. It never came back after just doing the master reset. I never touched her hand.
Wow.
So it obviously stimulated something in her
Yes,
system to
something
recover.
worked.
So it definitely helps.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must go through a series of questions of analyzing someone or just trying to figure out what's really going on with them.
So yeah, with physical therapy, we still do standard physical therapy. When you come in to see us, we do a formal evaluation. You're with the therapist for an hour, and we're going through initially kind of subjective stuff. So we're asking you questions. You're telling us about what your complaints are, what difficulties you're having, that type of stuff. And then we'll take you through what's called the objective portion of the test. So we might put you through different, balance tests, or we test your...
that's the worst one. Putting one foot in front of the other, and taking your hand off, and trying to stand up.
Yep.
That one is a challenge. Oh, my goodness.
But the reason we do that is because if everything was easy, then you would be great, right?
That's right.
So we're trying to figure out,
Absolutely.
what are the deficits and what are the things that you're having difficulty. So we check your muscles and see how strong you are. We check your range of motion, see if there's any limitations with those. Then those functional things where we're doing balance or maybe a squat or a sit to stand or different techniques like that. And then once we have those measures, then we kind of know or have an idea, a good theory of what's going on. When we use the newbie, we generally will map somebody. So we'll actually use a sponge and we'll map where your brain's sending a signal that's causing the problem. When we get over that spot, the intensity goes up. And so that's how we know this is where the problem is. And
Yeah,
so,
well, I do. You've given me a booklet with
pictures and,
of what to do where, and I
Yep.
stand up against the.
Pardon the pun.
What?
There's some footwork to be done.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I
Absolutely.
do.
The home exercise program, that's a physical
Yeah.
therapist's favorite words.
All right. We're gonna take it home. Adam, give us again. How do we get a hold of you? How do we get your services?
Absolutely. So we're located at 25050 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205. And our phone number is 661-255-4205. And our website is www.focusptscv.com.
All right.
Tell
Adam,
him,
thank you
tell
very
him,
much.
tell him Barbara sent you.
Barbara
Well,
said-
send Barbara sent you. There you go. You've been listening to the Senior Hour on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. Now go and enhance your quality of life.